What's up, fishaholics? It's Les here. I'm back in the fish room. There's just too much going on not to put out an update, so I'm gonna do another update video here. We're gonna go tank to tank. Here we're looking at most of the red devil growouts. They're in with the Vieja Argentea and the red spotted severums. Both those two species are ones that we still have yet to breed, and the red devils are kind of just surplus fry in there as dithers. The next tank we're going to look at is the Fajaka puffer. This is Haley's fish, flounder. We're currently treating him. He had some signs of internal parasite problems, and we had a friend with some meds and helped us out there, so he's on a 4-week regimen, and I'm documenting the process of that, so hopefully when we end up in a success we can give some good information on how to get rid of it. The big pair of umbies are probably going to spawn again any day here. You can see the female in the back by the wood, and the male, he's gotten darker. It's kind of hard to film this tank because of the lid. It distorts the light, and the camera has a hard time focusing, but we're moving in the near future, as some of you may know, and I'm gonna have the new fish room set up better for filming. Awesome fish though. They may have already spawned in the back there. The female is pretty aggressive. She keeps going after the red devil, Big Papa, who's in the tank next to them. She can see them through the glass and she keeps going after them. And she's all colored up. Big Papa's his same old self. We moved him into the fish room about a month ago, and he's been moving around tanks ever since, because throughout the process here of shutting down about a dozen tanks to be able to sell the house, and then when we do move in the summertime, we're going to set up all those tanks again, and we'll be able to spread out, and the fish that we have growing out now will have grown, and we will need that space, so the downsize is just temporary. Doesn't matter what tank he's in, he's always the same guy. Angry at the world, showing off. We were lucky enough to have some fish come over for the weekend. Our buddy Montana was also moving his tank, and he needed a hand taking care of his Waru and his Guyanacara Decaira, as well as a pair of green severums. He got all these fish from our friend Jim Cumming. Just beautiful, beautiful specimens. You can kind of see the blue in the face of these Waru. I'm not sure if it's unique to Jim's line, but the waru that Jim is working with sometimes, or maybe even all the time, have this blue in the face. Really awesome. This is our Nanoluteus and Maculopinnus grow out tank. It's hard to show the whole tank. Normally the videos I just close up on the fish, but I wanted to kind of zoom out and show how long of a tank this was. It's a 4-footer, but it holds about 45 gallons. We also have our Hypancistrinus contradens in here. There's a Nanoluteus near the front right. At the back there, that's a Therichthes maculopinnus, as well as some African cichlids in here. They are red empress peacocks. There's the contradens. These plecos are just awesome looking, and on this black sand, they stand out like crazy. The maculopinnus have been really colored up, especially the biggest one here. Not really that big, like he's only about 2 inches, and he's flaring up, and he's also showing his fins and kind of dancing around the tank. I'm told that they may even spawn as small as 2 inches, so that would be interesting to see. Next are the fry tanks and small fish tanks. We've got the purple mosaic guppies, some endlers, some guppy fry, snails, killifish, as well as a new pickup that we just got, some Xenotoca lionsi, the yellow-tailed gadaid. We picked those up this past weekend at the club auction. They're just fries, so not much to see, but will be a fun project in the future. More fry tanks, some male endlers. Tons of fry right now because we had to get rid of a lot of our adult fish, so I needed to set them up, spawn them fast, and either not get rid of them all, but separate the pairs so that we had no spawning during the move process. Albino bristlenose, along with some Burdori. L100s, green Texas, Therichthes carpintis. Some pink convicts, and some mystery snails, all competing for the one algae wafer. These are the Burdori fry. They're about 1/4 of an inch now, coming up on just over 3 weeks old. Here's just a reminder why I keep so many tanks and why I don't mind doing water changes. This is what it looks like here in the end of March. Back to the fish room. This is our wild umbi. It's always had more of that black marbling on it than the F1 umbi pairs that we got locally. That one was ordered from the wet spot. Here's our Xenotoca eiseni, along with all our bristlenose plecos. These are just the common brown bristlenose. We've got a pair in here, as well as a approximately 3-inch grow outs that we spawned in June, I believe. The eyes and I like having all this room to themselves. They're pretty well in a 35 gallon to themselves at this point. The bristlenose only come out to eat. Here's some more Herichthys carpintis fry, as well as some Vieja bredori fry. Both are around 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Growing well. And we have them in with our L100 plecos. The male, you can see him there kind of moving his fins. He's trying to entice the female to come to his cave where he can then trap her in, get her to lay her eggs, and then kick her out. And then he looks after the fry until they're about 3 weeks old, and then he starts allowing them to leave the cave and look for food. When the light hits some of these little fry the right way, you can really see that spangle starting to come in. The pea puffers are doing well. We switched to an LED light on their tank and it's super dim. It's the Aquariums LED clip-on light. Not too happy with it in general. I prefer the 13-watt fluorescent that comes with these tanks. You can see this one here has that original light. And this is the crystal red shrimp tank. I just wanted to take a quick video of the tank. The shrimp aren't that active unless there's food, or usually during the evening. We shut down the tank in the office and a bunch of other tanks. You can see a bunch of stands there in the garage. These tanks from the bedroom were removed, the 20 and the 30. We removed the stacked 90s from the main room, and those got sent to my mom's. Set them back up there at her place. Throughout this move process, we're going to have those there. It took about 3 hours to shut down both these tanks and catch. There was probably about 60 fish, all growouts between the two tanks. All the ornaments and decor and equipment. We got it there though, and we got it level and we started filling it. We had a rescue parrotfish in the tank, and he was laying down, but since then he's perked back up and he's doing fine. So now mostly everything is in the fish room. And a few of the things are shut down. Now this past weekend we had a club auction, so we were able to get rid of some of our fish to help shut down these tanks. So I have some footage here from the auction. Haley and I run the canteen as a part of the leadership group of the club. It was a good turnout to our auction. I'd say probably 100 people.
$8 looking for 9. $8 going once, $8 going twice, and sold.
DMR 14, Volvitis Chutalotai. The African water fern is fairly easy growing, but don't bury it. Try and tie it onto driftwood or rocks.
It's a good family event. This one was a giant auction, so there was no speaker. Usually in those situations, there's more kids that come out. And lots of good items. There was a brand new Aqua Clear 70, some driftwood, tons of cobalt food, tons of live foods, 25-gallon tank.
Right there, 14 looking for 15, 15 in the back. 16.
We also had a pizza party.
$15 going twice.
The club orders pizza and then
ELB 13. This
we
is
buy it
5
from
Roman
them
killers.
at cheap price, 2 slices and a drink for $5.
There's 5 of these in the bag. Start at $3 for 5. $3
Being there for so long, it's nice to have some
Says we
food.
adopted $4. 4, 5, nice. 6, looking for 7, 7, 8, 9, 9 looking for 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 14.
We didn't really buy much. It was more about selling for us.
Heater, filter, lights.
We also submitted a few BAP entries, and we received a few BAP certificates from last month's submissions, as well as an intermediate level plaque now. Couple sponge filters. I hope you enjoyed the update, and I hope you enjoy following along as we move the fish room and set up fish room 3.0.